Hello everybody, I am excited and I hope you are too, because today I have something very special for you guys. But before we get into that, I want to talk about this node. Yep, this guy right here. I am not the biggest fan of this guy because I feel like he's in the way. And I'm gonna tell you all about why I despise him later. Because there are some things we need to get done first. You see, in between streams and just playing in the background, having things being unlocked, we got all the parts ready for the giant space elevator again. So I'm just gonna really quickly pop them in there and not say anything questionable this time, I promise. Just like that. Oh, it is the best feeling, just having all the parts ready for your face and then sending them off into space. They're just gonna pop the last ones in. There were so many of them and this took forever, but at least all I gotta do now is send them. Seal that? Oh my goodness, it never gets old. I don't know, like, this is why we do it. I feel like this is the best part of the game. Hands down, or up, or all around, like, this is just the best. Bam! And off it goes. They grow up so fast. Oh. Oh my goodness. When it breaks through the clouds, it is just the coolest thing ever. And then they just slowly closing in. Well. Oh my god, that reminds me. We can finally unlock the thing that I've been wanting the most. The hover pack. Oh my sweet. Very soon we can build with no trouble at all. And as I promised, we're gonna talk about why I don't like this node compared to these ones up here. It's because it's weirdly sunk down in the ground here. It looks like something has been driving or digging it further down, and you just can't align them properly with the ones up there. So I thought maybe instead of hating it, I could use that to my advantage. For those who don't know, you can snap a road barrier to your miners and then align a foundation perfectly onto that. It is a great building mechanic if you want to do something with your miners. You just snap it on and then you can notch it into place. And using this building technique, you can get some really nice straight lined belts. This was really useful before we had the straight belt mode, but we didn't have that back in the day. We only had the foundations we could snap onto the miner. So yeah, it's not as useful, but it's still pretty good to know that you can put your belts straight on the foundations. But I took this a step further. You see, I wanted my miner to look completely different. Just gonna use this again, but I need to nudge it this time. Is that right? Oh, one more. Okay, there we go. If you have been following my streams, you already know what I'm talking about. For those of you who haven't, let me just build it up really quick so you can see what I'm talking about. And Bob is your uncle, here we have it. It's a tiny excavator for all my minor hiding needs. I am so happy with this build. You have no idea how long this took me. It's just so cool. Anyway, the way that it works is pretty simple. It is just a normal miner that takes the build up and inside of itself and into the arm here. And then it goes up here. I tried my best to make it walkable. Then it goes in here. I just need to connect it with a belt first though. Like this. And then the ore gets taken here and over here into a little container. It was mostly for detail, but at least you can see it works. Oh, and we have eyewitnesses, so we know it works. Right, Mr. Beanie? Where was I? Oh yeah. So it goes down and into the body and under it. And from here, I can just take a belt and put it into the ground. But what I'm probably gonna do is hide it in the wheels, to be fair. So yeah, there it is, my tiny excavator. There is not a whole lot to say about it, to be fair. It's just to hide a miner. No, the real thing that we have to do today is actually moving. Yep, we're moving away from here. I don't like it. This factory right here was just temporary, to be fair. It was supposed to be taken down by now, but I haven't gotten to it. And it's finally moving day. We have to get out of here. It needs to be gone. Say your goodbyes, Beanie Weenie, because this might be one of the last times we see this factory. I mean, to be fair, it served us well, and we do have some cool things over here like the truck, but you know, that can stay while we take all the other stuff away. The issue is, this factory is standing right where I want a bigger and better factory. And a smart man once said that you shouldn't make a new factory unless you already have a backup factory. So we are gonna have to move somewhere else. And I think I know just the place. It's perfect for a starter factory. It's gonna be right down here by the grassy fields. There is just one tiny issue we have though. I don't want to be running back and forth. There is some ground to cover for sure, but we have a solution to that. You see, there is this glitchy kind of mechanic to the game that allows us to get from one point to another in just seconds. You probably already guessed it by now. You are right, it is the HYPERTUBE cannon. I have only ever made one HYPERTUBE cannon in my whole Satisfactory career, and it wasn't very good because it didn't really work right. But now I know how to do it, so I made myself a new one. And it's actually kind of simple because all we need is to use a bunch of HYPERTUBE entrances in a line, because getting sucked through the entrance builds up so much speed it can fling you across the world. And here it is. I made it into a blueprint so I can spam them all over my world. The HYPERTUBE cannon. It just looks so cool. I'm so happy how it turned out. And we also built part of it on stream, so I got to spend some time with you and listen to you guys, which makes it just the more precious to me. My favorite part is actually the arrows, you know, it's like so it shows you where you're going. And to add on to that, there is a tiny little display case that shows you where we're headed. And we're going to the grassy fields today. Nice. All we gotta do now is connect this up to, wait, oh, there was two there. All we gotta do now is connect this up to power, like so, and we're golden. And now it should be working. The thing is, I just got reminded that in the later game, spoiler warning by the way, we are gonna get teleporters. And teleporters need a crap load of different things to make them run. You know, like you need a bunch of power to make all the parts that needs to go into the teleporter just so it works. And if you're not thinking about the part count in my build here, it's way more efficient because it only takes like 200 megawatts of power. About 200, I think. Yeah, 200 megawatts, and then you have yourself a cross-map transportation. That is super easy. And not only that, it is a really fun way to travel. I can't wait anymore. We need to just like get in here. We need to go. We need to go. Go, 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 go. Whee! It goes so fast. My computer can't even load in all the trees in time. That is so crazy. Ugh, the lag. Yeah, just because my computer can't handle it doesn't mean that yours won't. And we're here. No teleportation needed. Oh, I think I overshot a little bit actually. Ow. Yeah, so like, don't forget your jetpack, guys. My goodness. And not only does it get you where you need to be, it also just looks so cool having a cannon, you know? It's awesome. But now that we're here in the grassy fields, I'm gonna show you exactly what my plans are. So I have been working on little machine blueprints. I'm gonna try to make modular factories using these blueprints and try to make them look cool from the inside and the outside. So basically the plan is just to use these hypertubes to go back and forth between my two factories as we're building this new one. I'm gonna make a giant factory right here that produces all the starter parts that we're gonna need for the rest of our playthrough. So initially moving the factory from over there, over here instead. For me, for the longest time, it has actually been a really daunting task because I'm not really good with the numbers. You see, I'm more into building things, like the HYPERTUBE cannon, for example. I was scared that I couldn't keep up with all the other really great mathematic YouTubers out there that make all these giant factories that have all the inputs and outputs and whatever columns. But then I jumped deeper into the community part of this game and I actually got to know a lot of amazing people, and a lot of them were willing to help me on my project and help me on my journey. They are simply the best, and I can't wait to feature them in the different episodes going forward. Speaking about going forward, I think it's about time that I show you how you make one of these bad boys. But to do that, I have to be in my test save. So I'm gonna get myself shot into a transition! I love this. It is the best. Teleporters are overrated. Hypertubes all the way. Oh, and look, there they are. The hypertube cannons. Okay. We are now in my test world, where I built this cannon partly on stream. And this thing right over here is my cannon, completely stripped of all parts. Everything that makes it look, you know, crazy and like a cannon, it has just been taken away. So you have the bare bones. Let me just adjust the light here for a second. There we go. What you got here is the bare bones. This is just what makes it function. And it's all these little junctions that I talked about that reps you up so you can fly. And I have them going in a circle here. So you gain speed in a loop and then you get shot out from the barrel. So that's essentially what's happening here. We run in here, we get sucked up, we go all around in a circle, go up through the handle, we can't see it because it's clipping, and then you get shot out through the barrel. So what I want to show you now is how you can make your own hypertube. Because this might look complicated, but it really isn't. You see, all you need is to put two hypertube supports right next to each other. Have an entrance go the way you want to go. And then connect them. You see, I don't have power on this world, so it's already turned on now. And we have a little section here. It's that easy. So if you take these and put them right next to each other. Yeah, there's enough. And do this like multiple times. You will gain speed. Connect these two. Connect these two. There you go. We're gonna gain more speed here. The more you have, the more speed you're gonna gain, and it doesn't really matter in what way you orient them, as long as you know that this pipe here is not connected to this entrance. The pipe is just kind of hovering in front of it, but it's not connected. I only did that because if you if you didn't do that, and there was gaps here, for example, you will get flung, and the more speed you gain, all of a sudden you would get shot out randomly through one of the hypertubes. That's why I bent them into each other, to make sure that it would always be consistent in the loop. It is way more easy to make a straight hypertube. I would recommend making a straight hypertube because you don't have to make it complicated like this. I only did that because it would look cool in the bottom of this hypertube cannon. Another thing I want to note is that you want to get rid of the supports. These ones right there. You want to get rid of these because they can actually slow you down. Having the support in front makes your character just slightly hit it with like hitboxes. And removing it makes sure that you will go faster. You see? So it's that easy. And the more you have, the faster you go. But it also costs more power. So like, you know, with great power comes great hypertubes. So this model right here it's about 200 megawatts power. It should be, you know, manageable. It's a cheaper alternative to to the teleporter. But you can also make them less powerful, and then you don't have to fly like across the map like I do. I probably fly a little bit too far. You could maybe cut half of this off. You know, you don't have to make it the way that I did here. Speaking of doing it the way that I did it, as some of you may know, I have a Patreon. And every month I upload a new blueprint to my Patreon. But next month is going to be a little bit different, because I am going to release this HYPERTUBE cannon for the paying Patreons. But it's my birthday next month and I feel really generous, and I want people to be able to get shot out across the map no matter what, and have a cheaper alternative to, you know, running the way there or teleporting or whatever. So I'm gonna be releasing the bare bones for free as well. And I'm hoping that people who get the bare bones make their own version of a HYPERTUBE cannon. I would love to see you guys build on top of this. It would be so cool to see you make your own HYPERTUBE cannon. Build it however you like, in whatever weird way. Maybe even build your own. Just take inspiration from this. You know, you can dissect it. You can do whatever you like want to do with it. But I would love to see, like, screw that guy. You know, he's cool at all, but like, I would love to see what you guys can make with your own beautiful brains, you know? I'm gonna put a link in the description where you can grab these two blueprints, either make your own or use the pre-made one that I have for you here. Anyway, that was all I had for you today, guys. I know it was a little bit of a shorter episode, but I have been really busy with a project that I'm doing with some other creators that I can't wait to show you. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you stay excited. Bye bye!